Hello fellow AFOLs and welcome to Long's Bricks. Today we are taking a look at LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog set 76996 Knuckles Guardian Mech. It has 276 pieces and retails for about $35. You can see here that the set is comprised of course, Knuckles Guardian Mech, which he can pilot. And then, of course, you have Rouge over here with this little flying contraption, and then you have the Master Emerald in this little holder, and then her contraption kind of like hooks onto it so she can steal it. It's a fun little set. The build experience was pretty good. I have to say, building the mech was pretty fun. I know we get a lot of these, especially like in Ninjago and stuff, and sometimes I start to think, you know, do I really need these mechs? I'm kind of meched out, if that's a phrase. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually like it, and we'll get deeper into it, obviously, in a little bit. First, we'll take a look at the box. So artwork here on the front of the box I think looks pretty cool. You can see that they're obviously at some kind of temple with the Master Emerald here in the center. Rouge is flying in on the flying contraption, and then Knuckles is defending the emerald with the mech. I think it's fun how they kind of made the mech look like Knuckles. It has the little, you know, knuckles, obviously, here. The points on the knuckles there. It has kind of these pieces in the back that almost kind of look like his hair. Again, we'll get into that more a little bit later on, but it's a pretty cool little build. Got Sonic hanging out down here, even though he does not appear in the set. You can see the minifigures listed there on the top. Not really much going on the bottom here. Really the sides, not too much either. Kind of cool bit of artwork there, the two of them. And then over here on the back, just kind of showing you how it'll work. Of course, they're both trying to get to it. She can come steal it with the contraption. Got some flick fire missiles and all that stuff. So pretty cool little box. Has the thumb tabs, so you can open that up. Did a speed build, or I guess not really a speed build, stop motion build yesterday, so I'll put that link at the end of this one if you want to check it out. It was pretty fun. But yeah, we'll go ahead. We will move on now and check out the minifigures. First up, we have Rouge. I think she looks pretty great, honestly. You have the two-color plastic here for the arms and the legs, which is really nice. You can see that there on the back. Printing here on the front of the torso and the legs also looks pretty great. But I think they're doing a great job with these heads. I mean, obviously they can't just use regular minifigure heads. I think it would be a mistake if they had tried to do like a minifigure head with some kind of elaborate headpiece or something like that. I think this was definitely the right call. And it's really nicely detailed and painted. I think the eyes look great, the ears, all of that. The head's just really nicely done. Has the wings here on the back. That's just a little piece that you slide over top of the neck post, so not too much going on there. And if we remove the wings, we can go ahead and see all the nice printing here on the back. They have a little tail printed on there. They could have done one of those like skirt pieces with a tail that we've seen for other things. I don't think it was necessarily needed here. I think that just the printing the tail is probably fine. But yeah, it's a really nice looking minifigure. Really well done. And then up next, of course, we have Knuckles here. I think he looks great. Nice printing down here on the legs. Definitely doesn't have as much on the torso, front or back. But I don't think he needs it. He also just has the little printed tail. But he does have the dual molded legs, which I think look really nice. And then for the hands, he's got these kind of pieces that slide into the fists. So we've seen things like this for Wolverine's claws and other similar type things. You just pop it into the minifigure hand, and then it gives him his giant, like, boxing gloves with the knuckles there, which I think looks really good. And again, I think the head sculpt looks great. I think they did a really nice job. He's got kind of a smiling expression, but the nose, the eyes are all painted really nicely, and the head is just molded really nicely in general. So I think Knuckles came out pretty great as well. So first up, we'll take a look at this little flying contraption here for Rouge along with the Master Emerald. So I'll disconnect this for now. This is a pretty simple little build, and one thing I thought was kind of interesting, she doesn't actually have a place to stand. She just clips onto the handlebar there, which I guess makes sense since she could fly, so, you know, she doesn't really need to stand on this. It's almost just kind of like a scuba diver using like a submersible just to kind of, you know, boost around, but you don't actually need to be connected to it. And then you have these two heart pieces here, which I can never get to line up properly. I think that's supposed to look like a nose when they put them together like that. You have this tiny little windscreen here. And again, it's a very simple build. So you have the wings here on these ball joint connections so they can move around a little bit. I don't know why you'd really need them to move around all that much. And then you have a hinge here for these wings. So depending on whatever angle you'd personally like to put these at, you have some options. I like the use of these pieces here to kind of give fangs. I think that's really cool. Yeah, I guess that's supposed to be like a bat nose. I guess that makes sense. Little thrusters here. Works out pretty well. And then you have this connection piece right here, which can connect onto the top of the emerald. So that just pops right on there. And that's so she can come along and steal it out of the, I guess, what would we call this? Holster? I'm completely blanking. Whatever term we'd like to use for this, the little piece that holds it normally. But the other thing about the Master Emerald here, if we open this up, it's actually got 3 tiny crystals inside. And we've seen these gem pieces all over the place in other themes, Harry Potter and things like that. They're just kind of typical little gem pieces, but obviously meant to be Chaos Emeralds. And then it just tells you to pop 3 of them in there and then close this back up. And you have this kind of nice translucent green here for the Master Emerald. And then it just kind of sits here, just rests. It doesn't actually connect. It almost looks like it could because it has this piece here. And I really don't know what this connection would be for, but it doesn't connect to anything. It literally just rests in there. And the thing that's kind of neat, so we have a set coming out, I think in August. It's called, I believe it's called the Master Emerald Temple or something like that. It's another Knuckles set. And it actually looks like it has a spot for this to rest in. So this exact build here would have a little spot at the top that it looks like it can rest in. So if you buy this set for this piece, you can use it with that set that's coming out in August. I know a lot of people weren't necessarily big fans of the Mech, because again, they're kind of meched out. But they wanted Knuckles, and this is the only set that Knuckles is in right now. Knuckles is going to be in that other set, but they made it to have a place for this, but didn't include this, so that way you still have to buy both. You know, tricks we're used to, but it is kind of neat. If you did pick up this set, you can absolutely use it. Well, I shouldn't say that. I haven't had it yet, but it looks like there's a place for this to drop right into. And since the other set is called like the Master Emerald Temple, but doesn't actually come with the Master Emerald, that's kind of weird. But I'm assuming they want you to use this with that set when it comes out. And of course, the main event, we have Knuckles Guardian Mech. Pretty well built, honestly, I have to say. How this works is this little section here, this is actually a battle droid arm. You can see this piece right here connected to this little handle, and this just swivels out of the way. And then you just have a little connection here, so we can go ahead and pop Knuckles on here, peg him in, and then we can bring this up so that it looks like he's controlling it. Got your 2 flick fire missiles here. I guess not really flick fire, stud shooters is what they're actually called. They fire pretty well, and you get a couple of these little green translucent studs to pop in there. Otherwise, it's got pretty great articulation. I know we've seen these mech pieces a lot in the Ninjago builds, and it gives the illusions of knees without actually having articulation there. But you do get a ball joint here at the hip, so you can kick really far out to the side, pretty far forward, really far back, and you can, you know, twist this all around. It's a ball joint. It works really well. I like that a lot. Again, not actual knee articulation. It just has the bend there. And then you have a ball joint here at the foot, so you can get a really nice range of motion there. Unfortunately, where you'd kind of want it, I would want it more in the ankle tilt more than the front to back. But because of the way it's built, that's how it happened. And they would have to have taken this piece and rotate it 90 degrees. But then I guess it would be too much and it wouldn't be able to. So yeah, I don't know. But I would like a little bit more ankle tilt there. The other thing is here with these, I guess I'll call them shoes. These pieces here seem really unfinished. I feel like they should have something here. And I was waiting for that to happen while I was doing the build, and it just never happened. I mean, technically, if you wanted, you could put these all the way down. You could put them all the way up. I kind of like to put them at like a 45. It's about where I keep them. But it really feels like there should be something. I was kind of thinking something along the lines of these like shield pieces here to put here, I think would have made sense. Or even just, you know, one of these kind of like circle tiles would have worked. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that seems unfinished there. But I like the ingots here on the front. I think that works really well. The legs look good. Then here for the arms, you have another ball joint, so good range of motion there. This shoulder pad piece can move up if you want. You don't really need it to, because once again here for the arms, we have the same piece as the knee, so it gives the illusion of an elbow bend, but it doesn't actually bend there. So there's really no reason to move the shoulder piece out of the way, but if for some reason you wanted to move it up and down, you certainly can. And then you have a ball joint down here for these little arm builds, or these little hand builds, I should say. You have this piece here to look like the thumb, and then of course it has the, you know, telltale knuckles on the glove there. I think that works. And then there's a little bit of range of motion come down like that. Hits into, you know, this top piece here. Can't really go much more than that. But you could do something like this. You know, if you wanted to kind of do like a come on come fight kind of a pose. So decent bit of movement there on that ball joint. Really nice movement here on this ball joint. Then you have these little pieces up here, just to kind of add some flair to it. You know, you have 3 of them here. You could do something like that. If you wanted to put this one down, you could. The box kind of has it straight out. I kind of like the look of it like this, with the kind of the 3 of them like that. But yeah, pretty decent articulation for a tiny little mech. I feel like if this was an Ninjago set and this was on its own, this would kind of be like 20 bucks and maybe have like another, you know, minifigure for him to fight. So this whole set being 35 is not really outside the realm, I don't think, of being reasonable. But also you have these nice printed pieces here. Now I assume these are supposed to look like some kind of missile pods, but with him kind of sitting so close, I don't know if he's going to want to fire them. He's going to clip his arms or his shoulder. But I do like the print there. I think that looks pretty cool, so I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a cool little mech. Like I said, every time I see another mech, I'm like, do we really need another mech? But then when you build it, it's like, okay, this is kind of cool. I kind of dig this, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. It throws me back to, like, Exo Force. You know what I mean? Like, those kind of older mech-based themes. And they've come a long way with the ball joints and the articulation and things like that. So, yeah, I kind of dig it. I think it's cool. Like, did we need it? No. I know a lot of people don't necessarily want it, but again, it's the only set to get Knuckles right now. Again, he is going to be in that Master Emerald Shrine that's coming out in August, but he doesn't even come with the Master Emerald, so I feel like it's, you know, not named well. But it is the shrine that you would put the Master Emerald. Kind of a compliment to this set, really, if you think about it. So, and the other thing is, I think that Knuckles has like an angry expression. So if you don't love the smiling expression on Knuckles, since, you know, he's, in my opinion, rarely smiling, that has more of an angry, gruff expression. So I feel like that's going to still be worth picking up, even if you already have this Knuckles, because it will be a little different. But yeah, I'm liking the mech. Good articulation, fun build, pretty cool. I like it a lot. Overall, I think this is a pretty fun set. I love the minifigures. I think they did a great job with them. You know, Knuckles is a little bit more simplistic in terms of printing, but I think that makes sense for him. He doesn't have a lot of overt detail. Rouge came out great. Really fantastic printing for her. They both have the dual molded legs, which look great. And I didn't think I was going to like this way of doing the hands for Knuckles, but it actually worked out really well. They just clip over the regular minifigure hands, and it looks good. I wish it was kind of like completely enclosed. So maybe it was something that you unpegged the minifigure hands, and then it was a completely enclosed piece with a peg that I could then peg into the holes on the arms instead of the minifigure hands. That's kind of what I was hoping for, but I think this works, you know, well enough. I don't think it's a problem. The mech, I think, looks pretty good. It was a fun little build. Great articulation, couple of nice printed pieces. You got the stud shooters here in the front. I think all that works really well. I do really think these little pieces here on the front of the shoes, the tongues of the shoes, I guess we'll say, they feel a little unfinished. I feel like there should be something there, whether it's a circle tile piece, or I would have kind of liked maybe one of these shield pieces with the pointing this way, but then maybe that would hinder articulation, so maybe that's why they didn't do it. I don't know. But just, even if they just put square tiles over top of them, just seeing those studs there makes it feel a little unfinished to me, and that's really my only complaint about the mech. Otherwise, I think that looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with that. Rouge's little flying contraption, I think it's a simple build, but I think it totally works. I love these little heart pieces used for the kind of the snout of the bat. The windscreen here almost makes it seem like a visor of the bat. You know what I mean? Like if you're thinking about this as a bat face, these pieces used down here for the fangs look great. It's a simple build, but I think it works really well. I would have liked somewhere for her to like stand on it instead of just hanging off the handlebar. But again, she's a flying character, so I guess that's fine. I like the way it attaches to the Master Emerald and then can steal it and fly away, stealing it out of the perch here. I think that works really well. And I think it's kind of neat that, you know, this set, I think it's a good set on its own, but the fact that it's probably going to have compatibility with that Master Emerald Shrine, and the fact that it has a spot on there to, like, it really looks like this is supposed to drop right into it. I think that's kind of cool because it kind of makes the sets compatible, and I like it when they make sets that can kind of attach and work together. Now, this is not nearly as direct as some other things we've seen, but I still think it's kind of cool that they will have compatibility with each other. Assuming that it actually does fit in there. Again, judging by the picture, totally looks like that's what it's meant for. And maybe on the box, sometimes on the box they'll say like, get this set and it works with this. And we haven't seen the back of the box yet, at least I haven't. So yeah, otherwise, I think this is a pretty cool set. Now, $35, I don't think that's outside the realm of fairness. Like I said, if this was like a Ninjago mech on its own, it would probably come with like one other minifigure and be like $20, $25. So when you put in these pieces in the little build, you know, I would probably guess $30. It happens to be $35. I don't think that's totally unfair. I don't know what the licensing for Sonic costs. I have no idea. So maybe that's where the extra couple bucks comes in. But I like the set. Some people might be thinking, you know, I want Knuckles, but I really don't care about the mech. I actually think it's kind of cool. I think it's a pretty decent build. I love the colors. I also like how they kind of kept to Knuckles' color scheme. Like, you can see that there's some green and yellow down here in the shoes, which kind of match like his feet. And then the rest of it is his, you know, typical red and white color scheme. So it's kind of fun. They even put in the little Knuckles in the fists, which I think is really cool. So I actually like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I admit, when I first grabbed this, one, I had Kohl's Cash to use, so that was the main reason I picked it up. But two, I definitely wanted the minifigures, because I believe both of these are exclusive to this set right now. I know Knuckles is. I believe Rouge is as well. I'm not 100% sure about that. But there are going to be sets coming later in the summer that will have these characters again. So for right now, you know, this is the only way to get Knuckles. Now, again, you want to wait for that other set and blow this one off? Absolutely can. The other Knuckles in that set has a different expression, and I like having both of them. And also, again, you're probably going to want this Master Emerald for the Master Emerald Shrine. So I would say you could probably wait. If this goes on sale 20% off like they usually do, that's going to give you about $7 off, going to put you in around $28. I think that would be perfect. So if you've waited this long for this one, probably going to be going to the 20% off stage fairly soon. This came out in January, I believe. January 1st of this year. So I think you could definitely hold off if you haven't picked it up yet. And once it hits that 20% off, I think $28, perfect price for this. The value would definitely be there. And then you'd have it for when that other set comes out in August. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know your opinions. Did you pick this one up? Do you like it? Are you waiting for that sale? Are you blowing this one off and going with the set that comes out in August? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.